All right, Porsh Bets is on the podcast. Porsh, you have the third EP dropping now. It's out for everyone to listen to. How does it feel, dude? It's your third EP, like I mentioned.
It feels good. This project's a little longer than my other ones, and I think it's good and bad. People's attention span nowadays seems a little short. But then I was like, I don't really care. Like, I want to like put out something that is more of a full like statement and something like
Mm.
that. And I just think this is my best one yet. So as long as I keep getting better, I think we're on a good track.
It's so funny you mentioned that short attention span, dude, because like as I was listening to this EP, I literally wrote down like all these songs are like kind of short. Like not a lot of them are like even 2, 3 minutes long. But
Yeah.
you're right. Like when you listen to the whole, and it's 15 tracks in total, like when you listen to the whole project, like it does take up a good chunk of time. Like, well, that was your intention, like you said, you wanted something a little bit more lengthy.
Yeah, I mean, it's like 30 minutes almost exactly. And I just wanted, if you really want to come with me on this like journey of my career or whatever, I just want you to be able to sit down for 30 minutes with me and like, listen to it at least once the first listen. And then you can like pick songs you like, pick songs you don't like. There's also like skits and interludes included that like, kind of take up time and stuff like that. But yeah, I just wanted something with a little more intention and like not caring about what the state of the world is and just like
Mm.
what I want to do.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of those skits too, like you have three of them in there. And was it intentional to kind of like divide the tracks with these skits? Because from listening to some of them, it sounds like you kind of go through phases in a way. Like, is that all like with your storytelling?
Yeah, it's crazy because this is a demo tape. So going back to the point that all the songs are like kind of short or like even unfinished, whatever. A lot of these songs aren't like fully fleshed out. Most of them I made in like one day, and I just
Hmm.
haven't like gone back to. But I kind of wanted to like just show the seed of an idea and like the rawness of it, and that's just what it is sometimes. But the skits, no, those kind of came together randomly because they're just a bunch of different sound bites and stuff from over the last like 2 or 3 years that I've just captured on my phone, either through a video or like literally like recording someone and them not knowing or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
But it all didn't come together until I literally sat down with all of the songs and skits, and I was like, all right, how does this make sense? And then at the end, it came to like tell a story of like a relationship and like the starting phases when it's all sweet and bubbly, all the way down to like the end when it's sad and bitter.
Any
But then,
personal?
any personal connection to that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so. But like, we all got personal connections to relationships. I feel like we're grown people, but yeah, it's just kind of like details this one relationship that I was just in, and it's not like per se about the person, like all the songs, because some of the songs that I wrote when I wasn't even with her, or before her, or after her, whatever the case may be, but they kind of all connected to tell this cool story of like from the first song, it's called "Give It a Chance," to the last song called "Find Myself Again." It's like it's the we all go through that. It's like you find someone or you meet someone you like, and you kind of get involved, and you go through the phases, and there's peaks and lows, and at
Mm.
the end, you come out of it. If you come out of it single or whatever the case again, you kind of have to find yourself again and regroup, and because when you're in a relationship, at least for me, it kind of changes my whole way of life if I'm like in
Mm.
a serious relationship, and you kind of have to get back to having your own way of life and your own, you know, I don't know. I don't mean to ramble, but it's a complicated thing.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, I think a lot of people get that. Like we've all been through that relationship shit where it's like you lose yourself to find yourself to lose yourself again. Like it's a
Hmm.
whole web that you get stuck in. And I mean
Yeah.
like some of those deeper cuts, like too, if you don't mind talking about it, like late July, I was like, damn, like this is like this shit is deep. Like where do you even and then like the one right after, like 364, like
Hmm.
you had a really good line in there about liking you for the feel good chemicals. Like, I just thought that was really well said. Like, could you elaborate a little bit more about like the inspo behind those?
Late July, it's literally like facts. Like I don't want to get too into it just to save this person's like, well being, even though I'm not famous or whatever. But just me and my daughter's mom and the time when we found out we were about to have a kid and it was July and it was a rocky time and just like the feelings around that. And I wrote that song a little bit after we found out and months down the line, but it was just reflecting on that and saying like, yo, even though it's like a happy time, a warm time, like in both sense of the word, like it being summer, but also like, about to bring a new life into the world and blah, blah, blah. It's still kind of a sad and rocky time because we were not the best on the same accord or like, just going through the
Mm.
motions. And then 364 I actually wrote about my friend and his girlfriend, because he was telling me that like him and his girl, they broke up a day before their anniversary, which was 364 days later. And I was just
Oh
like,
my
oh, that's just a
God.
cool thing. So I just wrote that in my notes at one point. I wrote the word 364. And then when I got to the studio a couple of weeks, months later, I just kind of like spun that out into a song.
No, that's wild, dude. Where do you record,
Yeah.
by the way? Like, are you in Mass too, or like kind of all over the place?
All over the place. That's why I even like call it a demo tape too, because like I don't have like a steady producer or a steady studio. I'm just kind of like doing it where I can at the moment. And like I
Mm,
want to take it as seriously as I can, but I also have just like different life responsibilities. And I just try to like put different priorities first. And like music's happened to take a little step back for the last year or so just because I've been dealing with other like real life things. Like, because
mm,
music is real life, but like if I had to stop making music tomorrow, I'd be very crushed and upset. But also,
mm.
I get to live a beautiful, happy life regardless. So
Right.
just like it gives and takes. But I record a lot in LA with some homies out there. I have a little home studio that I do like little ideas on. I've recorded in New York. But yeah, just kind of all over. Wherever I can get a place to record, I'm there.
Yeah, and I assume those things that like have put music a little bit on the back burner is mostly providing for your family, right? Like your daughter's like she just turned like 2 from what I understand, right?
Yeah, she's a little under two. She's like a year and a half right now.
Okay.
But yeah, just putting that because like besides like providing for her, like just being there with her and like being a musician and being on the road or going to different studio sessions, being up late at night, being across the country, it's just not like how I want to be present in her life right now.
Mm,
And just because like maybe my own traumas with my own dad and stuff like that, I just wanted to be around for her more. And like obviously there'll be times where I have to get up and go or be away for a while. But at least in the beginning, I wanted to show her like, yo, your dad's here for you and he cares about you more than anything else. And I'm just trying to make it work out.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, for sure, dude. Like it's tough, like balancing all of that. Like you said, you want to pursue what you want to dream or the things that you dream about, but like you have responsibilities at the same time. So,
Yeah.
it's
And
a
I guess
struggle.
I could be selfish, and some people say I should be, and like just like go do what I got to do, and like she won't remember because she's a little kid. But it just, I don't know, man. It just, I feel too much of her. I feel too much for a lot of people. I feel like that's why I even make music in the first place because I just feel everything around me, like a lot of people in my life, people I love, people I hate.
Mm,
It's just there's a lot, and music became a way to like express myself. I honestly didn't make music until when I was 18. I started making music, so I didn't have any inkling to make music my whole like childhood. I kind of not disliked it, but I wasn't a fan of like theater or like anything like that. I was more of a sports kid. And then when I found out it was a way to like say what I wanted to say without having to have conversations with people, I'm like, oh, this is cool.
yeah. Could you talk a little bit? Let's actually go back and talk about like your journey with music. Like, from what I understand, like you grew up in New York, like you said,
Hmm.
and then you went to school, but then you dropped out to go pursue music in LA, right?
Yeah. I grew up in New York. I was born in like the Lower East Side. Then I moved to Harlem when I was like 3 or 4 because my mom and dad had, said deuces and to each other, not to me. And then it was just me and my mom for a while, my grandma, and then my mom found this opportunity for me to go to boarding school in Massachusetts. So then I came up here, and I did that, and I was in middle school, and then I went to another like boarding school type of program in Massachusetts, and that's how I landed in Amherst. After that, I like was a pretty like decent kid in school. Like I would say I'm a B plus kind of guy. Like I could get the A. I just hate school and the system. Like it's all not really the best, I think. But anyway, so then I tried to go to college for like 2 months. I went to this liberal arts college up in like the northern hills of Massachusetts. It was like so boring, middle of nowhere, like mad dead. No offense, but just like a lot of white people. It's just I thought I was gonna be on like some like find myself journey out there, but I was just like I'm really just sick and tired of this. So then I left school and I just was working a bunch, and that's when I started making music. Was when I left school, and then after like a year of that, I was like, if I really want to do this seriously, I should probably like go where there's like serious musicians. And so I was like, I'm just gonna go out and try it. I had like a couple homies out there from Mass who were really gracious and let me like sleep on their couch, and I got to just go around and meet different people and producers and other artists, and started making my own music and getting my name out there a little bit. And then yeah, it's just kind of been like a snowball effect from there.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, and like I said, like you've put out a couple other projects before this. When I was reading about you too, like your song Peanut Butter, which was 2021, I want to say 22,
Yeah, 2021. Yeah.
21. That song is your most streamed song. It's got over 2 million streams in Spotify alone. And like a lot of buzz around that song. So could you tell me a little bit like how that song has kind of changed your career and changed like your trajectory?
Shit, I wish I could, but obviously I'm still right here working at a Chinese restaurant. But no, it's crazy. That song just kind of came together on a whim. I literally saw a jar of peanut butter in the studio, and that's why I mumbled out the word peanut butter, and then we kind of like spun it into something else from there. But it definitely gave me my first glimpse of like, oh shit, this could be a real thing. Like I could be a real artist. Like people might be taking me a little bit serious. So that was cool, and yeah, just opened up the doors to a lot more opportunities in the last couple of years, and just putting me more in that light of like, oh, this guy could, be something. But that's about it with that song. I don't know how I feel towards it. It's like my most successful song, I guess, so far, but it's not my favorite just because I just feel very like looking in hindsight, I feel very like cringe about it because I'm like, oh, you were such a like child and you didn't know anything about anything. But it's also nice because it's very innocent and yeah, it's just cool to like be able to track my like personal life journey through like music.
Yeah, no, for sure. Where'd you say you're at now
But
though with music? Like a
yeah,
lot of the
peanut butter's
stuff
cool.
I was gonna say, like a lot of the stuff you put out now, like it feels a lot more like personable, like based off maybe some of the stuff you've been through, like, recently or with family or things like that. Like, one song I'm thinking
Hmm.
of that you actually put out last year, My Demise, like really stands out to me. So do you feel like you're in a different
Hmm.
place, like you said, from when you put out Peanut Butter, that your stuff is a little bit more like of substance, for lack of better words, I guess?
No, definitely for sure. And like the thing is, when I made peanut butter and all those first like two EPs, I was just learning how to like sing, learning how to write, learning how to song structure, like learning all these things. But usually people learn that stuff and then they like trying to like hone in their craft before they put something out into the world. I'm a very impatient kind of dude. So I was like, I made some songs, let's put them out. And like it's a good and bad thing. Like I got some success off it and some little bit of like clout, if you want to say that. But I realized in hindsight, like there's not much substance. But it's always been my plan kind of is to like slowly give more of myself to people because well, this is an interview, so it's a different situation. But like, if I were to just walk in the room and see you, I'm not telling you much about me.
Mm.
Probably for the first couple of times we hang out, just because like I'm a shy and kind of reserved person. But as soon as we get to like know each other and like open up more, like I'm, whatever you want to ask me, I'm ready to tell you. But that's just kind of how I approach music too. And it's like every project, every song is just getting a little deeper into me and like myself and like real shit. And like, cause it's a very scary thing to do too. Because you think about it, I put a song out into the world. I could confess my like deepest, darkest secrets and fears and then go see someone at the grocery store and they're looking at me like, yo, I know so much about you.
Yeah.
And that's just a scary shit to like, I have to like think could happen and realize. So I'm just like slowly warming up to the idea of that. But now I'm like slowly not caring because I'm getting older and I'm just like all of my favorite artists are very personable and like we know a lot about them and they share their honest truths. I just want to be more like them, like
Mm.
Kanye West, for example, Frank Ocean, Drake. These people. That's why we love them because we can like see ourselves in them and like realize that they're humans too. And I just want people to see like I'm a human too. Like I'm nowhere near anything else besides human. I fuck up every day.
Mm. I was gonna say, does it get easier for you, like that opening up factor as you make more music?
It's gotten easier. I don't like. It's not like a manual thing where I like am realizing it's getting easier, but I just like open my mouth and I'm like the first thing I say is more honest than I would say before because I'm not just trying to like pull together cool things or just put together words that rhymes. I'm trying to just really express myself because like I don't go to therapy. I probably should, but like this is my therapy, so like I'm able to get it out this way.
Dude, the amount of times people have told me the same thing, and I'm like, no, I got music. I have, playlists.
Hmm.
That's my therapy. I have a car. I could drive. That's my therapy.
I push everyone to try to go. I like once I get some healthcare set up and all that, I will definitely be in there myself. But for now, I'm just gonna be making music.
Hey, it's not the worst thing. You could just be like keeping it all inside still. So you have an outlet at least, which is good.
Exactly. And it's also like the more I talk to my friends and just my peers and stuff like that, it helps me with the music too because like I'm being more honest with my friends. I'm like, yo, like someone's like, how you doing? I'm like, I'm honestly not that great right now.
Mm.
Because when people ask you how you're doing, you're usually like fine or whatever. But when you really like express how you're feeling, it's just like a heavy weight just lifted off your shoulders.
Yeah, for sure. So I also want to ask you about this EP, Porsh Bet's Demo Tape. A lot of the songs you've had out for at least like a year, I want to say. Like, was that intentional to kind of have these songs that have been out that you think people would want to listen to again, or you think it's gonna, what was the intention behind it essentially?
I'm gonna be real with you. Like the first song I dropped from it was "My Demise." I guess that's like the lead single, if you want to call it that. But I didn't have any intention of putting out a whole project of
Mm,
demos and stuff. Like "My Demise" was something I felt like was good. I actually hated it at first before I decided to put it out. I was like, "Oh, this is good," and then I saw people reacting to it, and I was like, "Wow, like this song is not polished at all compared to like Peanut Butter and all those other things.
mm.
Maybe this is like the right way to go." So then I put out 364, and then I just kept putting out one song like every month or every other month. And then I was like, wait, I kind of have a project here. So then I stepped back for a little bit over the summer and put together the project and made a little plan. And then here we are.
Yeah, so it just kind of happened, it seems.
Yeah, just the project kind of manifested itself as it went on. And I was like, oh, could be like a demo tape, or like, oh, we could add some skits to it, or oh, the track list should be like this should be the cover art. And it's just, it wasn't thought out, but it also was very like organic, and it was fun.
Yeah, I was gonna ask kind of a follow-up to that. Do you think it's better that way, like when music just kind of happens organically? Because I feel like when you try to force it, and based off conversations I've seen and heard with other artists, is like the best art always comes from when you're just like, hanging with your friends essentially.
Yeah, that's like two different things I feel like. So like the music is always fun to make when, and it's like better when it's organic and just hanging with friends and natural. But like when you go to like plan it and market it and properly put it out, I feel like you should take a step back and really try to do that. And that's what I want to do going forward. Like even my first two EPs, those are all like they were more like, all right, this is a project, we're gonna put it out. But it was still everything was very chaotic to the last minute, and like it's a very stressful thing to deal with. And I think if I just took some more proper steps beforehand and planned it out, it'd come out a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
But still, with the creation process being very free, but like the finishing and releasing process being a little more rigid and like planned out.
Yeah, if anything, like the promotion of it, like once it's out, it's like now you have to keep pushing it through like, social or doing shows. Like, do you plan on like doing any like gigs or anything like that?
I want to. I don't have any plans as of like right this moment. Besides, I have a Halloween party I'm gonna throw on Friday for like my friends or whoever wants to come, and that's kind of like to celebrate the release of the project. I'm not even gonna play the music there probably. It's like no one like I don't know. I always have a weird thing about playing my music for my friends, like to force them to listen to it. You know what I'm saying? Like we all want to listen to Drake. Let's not lie. We don't want to listen to me. And like I don't make it for that. I make it for everyone else. But no plans yet. But I want to do some live stuff hopefully next year and just get that going because I've only done two live shows ever, which is kind of sad to say. Like, how are you an artist but you're not really performing live? But also like COVID was a thing and
Yeah.
life was a thing, so I don't like get too hard on myself about it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But mhm. I was gonna say something else, but I totally forgot.
Well, I'm curious to know too, like a little bit more about your connections to mass. Like, I understand that you wait tables, like you mentioned
Yeah,
earlier. Like, so how does that even correlate with, making music? Like, do your customers know? Like, you said you're a little shy about it. So, like, do your coworkers
yeah.
even know? Like, what's the deal?
When I first pull up, no one knew besides like my friend who got me the job, and she knew obviously because we're friends. But like I didn't tell anybody. I was just quiet, mind my business, do what I got to do. Then eventually I would slowly open up, and people would see me like making TikToks around the restaurant and like trying to like promote it and like I. It's funny that you mentioned that the My Demise, the photo for the single, the like
Mhm.
cover art. I shot that in the bathroom at work after a
Oh, no
shift
way.
one day, and like I like bloodied up my face with like some red food dye, and then just went in the bathroom. And my friend took the picture on a Polaroid of me in the mirror. But yeah, it's I'm pretty low key about it. Like I'm pretty sure 99.9% of the customers don't know I make music. They don't even know my name, to be honest. I walk up to the table, I'm just like, what would you like? I'm not in a mean way. I'm just like socially awkward sometimes, and it's just like I don't know. I know you don't really want to talk to me. You just want to get some food. I'm gonna give you the food and make sure you have a good time. But yeah, it's a weird duality because also like I know sometimes cool things will happen and I'm at work, or like I have to go to work the next day, and it just feels like I'm living like a Hannah Montana kind of lifestyle where it's like I'm this person over here and I'm this person over here. And then even like in family life, I'm like Nick to my mom and grandma, I'm just the same person. Like they know I make music, but they don't know how seriously I'm trying to do it or how serious things could get. And even my daughters, I'm just Dada. Like I don't know, she don't care about nothing like that. So it's just dealing with all these different like perspectives, and I've just been slowly trying to blend them all into one because like it's a lot to try to like wear different hats. It's like just wear that one hat, and your hat has many patches on it, but like you don't have to keep switching hats because like that's taxing on your mental health and like I just want to be a person. I don't want to be like these different things.
Yeah, and kind of going to a point we made earlier is like, people have said you could sacrifice, family or sacrifice music or put one before the other. And it's like,
Hmm.
I think we as humans, we just want to do it all because it's like, why not live life to the fullest?
I'm definitely like one of those people who just wants to do it all the time, try to do everything. Like people say, like I try to like fit so much into my day. I'm like, this and that. I probably only do this and that, but at least I tried to like do everything. But yeah, sometimes it's also good to like slow down and like tackle one thing at a time because like you can't put your energy, like all your energy into something if you're spreading it across the table so many ways.
Mm-hmm.
So just getting better with time management and all that stuff is definitely crucial. Oh, I was gonna say about the demo tape. It's funny, people don't know this. I guess like exclusive intel, but two like labels had come and approached me in the making of it, or like as I've been putting out like singles and stuff, and like this is supposed to come out in the summertime, and I kind
Mm-hmm.
of delayed it because I was talking with these labels and blah blah blah, all this stuff. But I ended up not signing with anyone, so here I am putting it out by myself, like the original plan was. And yeah, it's just been kind of a tumultuous rollout plan and whatever, but it's cool.
Yeah.
That's a little background about that. And like, I'm not the best with keeping up with social medias, and I try to post on TikTok. My manager like screams at me, but it's just hard, bro. Like, I'm not like I know I'm a kid. Like, I'm only 24. I just turned 24 a couple of days ago, but I'm not really with the internet stuff. Like, I'm not good at. I think things are funny on the internet, and I really appreciate the internet, but I still don't know how to like work it and maneuver it because I grew up with old heads. Like, my mom is 60 something. Like, she wasn't even really on the internet. She still isn't. Like, I don't really. I'm still figuring it out. Like, getting on the Zoom was hard for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's not for
Yeah.
everybody, but that's wild. You were approached by two labels, like, and I mean, like, I think the idea and like how artists view labels in the music industry today is so different than what it used to be. Like, you know, you have
Hmm.
you have like major artists like, like a Mariah or an Usher that are like more independent or Sierra. Like, there are so many artists now, like that have gone that route and like even done their own thing, like developed their own record label. Like, is that something that you would ever want to do, or would you just want to like stay independent?
Oh, I definitely like want to get with a label just because like the things I just expressed before. Like, I know what I'm good at, and that involves making music and making creative decisions, whether it's about like cover arts and videos and stuff like that. But I'm not a marketing genius. I have some ideas and stuff like that, but I would
Mm.
love for someone to come in and help me put the pieces together and the right person and all that. So I'm definitely not anti-label, but I'm just like pro do whatever makes sense for you. And at the time, and just what the deals were and situations, it didn't make sense for me to go with a label. But I have my own label, kind of like I call it a label. It's not an official thing or anything, but it's called Serial Day, and that's like what I put my music out through. And Serial Day is basically just the notion of like trying to stay young and like keep that like inner child alive and like feeding it with whether that's making music or making clothes or just any type of medium you can keep that inner child alive and like staying in touch with that. That's what Cereal Day is about. And because like I feel like cereal is a very nostalgic thing, and like I just remember eating cereal like Saturday mornings or even like late at night and playing video games or watching TV and just like keeping that like youthful expression and creativity alive. And that's my label.
Yeah. Is that something you try to do across the board with your music, like keeping that youth kind of evidence or essence there?
I definitely think so because some of my music, I'm like, wow, this sounds like a 15-year-old could have made it. Just because, like, maybe also the way my voice sounds a little bit. Like, I don't know if I ever even hit puberty, but yeah, I just try to like keep it fun and stuff like that. And like, also, I'm slowly like not keeping it fun because life hasn't always been fun for the last couple years. And like, in my next project that I'm planning for next year, it's definitely a little bit of a tone change and just like I know a little sadder, a little more serious, but still like yeah, keeping it fun and youthful because like I feel like that's the key to one being happy and two being successful is just staying in touch with that inner child in you.
Yeah,
And
for
like
sure.
it's been cool to see my daughter like grow up and learn and discover things and explore because it helps me out. Like I was looking at her sweater yesterday, I was like, wow, that sweater is just like amazing. Like I want to wear that. And I was like, I don't know. I think little kids' clothes are so cool and like simple, but also colorful and like they're cozy. Like I care about being comfortable and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know where I even went from there, but
It's
That
all right. We
that's
got
it.
we
Yeah,
got you. We know what you're saying. You're
you
saying
know what
that
I'm
you,
saying.
yeah, we know what you're saying. We're just trying to keep that child energy alive because
E-
getting old can be scary.
Exactly. Getting old can be scary, and like also you don't have to get old. Like some of the greatest people I know in my life are like 45-year-olds, but like their energy and their essence is still of a 21-year-old, and that doesn't
Mm.
mean avoiding your responsibilities and not doing what you got to do. But it's like you don't got to be so serious, and also you don't have to be so stuck in your ways, and like just being open to change. And yeah,
Yeah,
I
for
feel like my
sure.
my take on love and like relationships is very it's from the point of a very youthful person because I'm just open for it. Like a lot of people are scared to be like, oh, that's my girlfriend. Or it's like put titles on things. I'm like, bro, let that be your girlfriend. If it doesn't work out, break up and it's your ex now. It's all good, whatever. But it's like we can't be scared to fall into things because you'll end up living a life where you're just timid because you're scared of like loss or you're scared of what if it doesn't work out. But also that can be a little bit of a what should I call it? A little bit of a hump in the road too, because you can be so naive and be like, well, like actually love doesn't work this way, and like
Mhm.
stuff like that. So it's just like a learning process. But I definitely trying to keep the youngness alive.
Yeah. No, I respect that. Portia, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. I feel like we covered a lot of ground. Look, you had like a therapy sesh here, which I love. Like,
Low key, sorry, bro. I just
oh no, don't be sorry. I love it. I love when this shit happens. It
hmm
makes me enjoy this more, and it makes the episode, I think, more worth listening. So before we hop off, like, why don't you let people know? I know you're not the greatest at social or plugging yourself, but you got to tell people at
yeah.
least where they can find the EP that's out and where they
Oh,
can find you on social.
I could definitely do that. You can find me at Porsh Bets, PORSHBETS on all social media. And you can also find me at porshbets.com. That's my website. I keep it updated with things going on. And you can find Porsh Bet's demo tape out everywhere: Spotify, Apple, Tidal, your mom's house, like everywhere.
I hope my mom's
But
house. I was
no,
like,
no, no, not
I was like, I
not in a
listened to the shit. It's
derogatory way.
good.
Not into a derogatory way, but I think like my music can also like, it's something that everyone can listen to. It's not like only for young kids. It's not for old people, definitely. But it's like everyone can identify and relate to the themes. I'm just talking about real life. Like I drive a Jeep. I live in a one-bedroom apartment. I'm not like crazy rich. I don't try to act like it. I just talk about things that happen to me and I think happen to everybody else too, and try to just be normal.
Yeah, for sure. Well, dude, thank you so much again for hopping on. I really appreciate it.
No problem, bro. Thanks for having me. Thanks for letting me vent to you. I'll Venmo you $50 for the therapy sessions.
Hey, I'll take it.